Aloha, I'm Felicia Miller Johnson, and I conduct work life video interviews with career professionals that become an all intuitive conversation. Aloha, and welcome to another episode of All Intuitive Conversation. I encourage individuals to live smart and ascend to new levels of work life success. Today, I have the pleasure of connecting with Gretchen for the first time. So let's add her to the screen. Aloha, Gretchen.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
I am absolutely fantastic. It's been a gorgeous morning, beautiful weather, out tending our garden. Just beautiful, beautiful morning.
Awesome. So, where are you?
I'm actually in Mississippi toward the Gulf Coast. So
Hmm.
I'm about an hour north of the Mississippi Gulf Coast.
Oh, okay. So you're not. I'm in Arkansas. So I'm
Oh,
in.
we're neighbors.
Yeah, so I was like, I am in Little Rock, Arkansas,
Yeah.
and it's interesting because the first thing that's already kind of coming through is we both seem to kind of be in these like this sweat gear today.
We are.
And we both have been outside because this morning my husband and I went for a walk. I was like, yeah, I have some shows this morning. So I was like, let's, if you're up for going out for a walk, going outside. And it was very windy and breezy, but it was a beautiful time. And I'm noting that you're going out and enjoying the garden. Is that something that you do regularly?
Well, we have 3 acres, and
Mm.
we started our orchard, which consists of 2 blackberry bushes, 2 raspberry bushes, 2 blueberry bushes, a fig tree, and a pear tree, and we just added some orange trees. So we have this little baby orchard that we are nurturing, and I love it. I mean, I planted some flowers this morning in my flower boxes, and I do enjoy that a lot.
Awesome. Okay. Well, the first card came out here is this woman that's outside, and
Ah,
there's these flowers
oh,
um,
jeez.
here. And so and she's a blonde, and it says, the good you do comes back to you an unexpected inflow of abundance, borrowing wisely or paying off the debt, sharing your wealth with others less fortunate. And so, today, I was drawn to connect with you through your name. Gretchen, do you know the meaning of your name?
I looked it up years ago. I know it's a derivative of Margaret,
Mhm.
and I believe it has something to do with God, but I haven't looked it up in so long, I don't remember.
Mhm. So I was connected to you because it says it's the elegant first name, which means pearl. And like I said, it is a derivative of Margaret. It says a pearl is a rare gemstone that forms under the sea and for centuries has symbolized the beauty of wisdom gained through experience.
Oh,
So the next question is kind of coming through is, tell me about an experience that you had in your life that really taught you something that was a gem, a pearl of wisdom in your life.
yeah, I've had quite a few of those, but the
Hmm.
most profound, um, well, I had 2. One was when I was diagnosed diabetic. And, I'm a 3-time cancer survivor, so I already have that going on. But then about 6 months later, I was diagnosed diabetic, and I had fought with my weight my entire life.
Yes.
And I realized at that moment that I had to figure out how to make this work because I was really scared. I was watching my younger brother who had been diagnosed diabetic. He'd already lost a leg. He was on dialysis, and I was in essence watching him die.
Mm.
And what came to me, what very strongly was, you still have time. You still have time to make the changes you need to make. And so I went straight from that into extreme gratitude for
Mm.
still having the time to make the changes, and I did. So I lost 110 pounds. I've kept it off
Yes.
now for a couple years, and that's what started the podcast so that I share my story. And it has, but it was from that moment when I realized I still had time because my brother didn't.
So that goes here because I was like, there's this woman, like I said, she's this blonde and she's out of nature and the roses and I was just like, okay, she's in this wheelchair, but now that makes sense as far as the health potential challenges,
Mhm.
um, and that the person is in a wheelchair. But the fact that you mentioned about the amputation on your brother and everything, but like both of the legs are still there. It's like you have time. But the next card that came out here has a theme of presence, and the trigger statement literally says, why did this happen to me? But the true statement says, how did this happen for me? And it says, know that you are the star of your life, my dear. You are the lead, and the audience is here for you. So it's like very much aligned with what you were just saying about how I got time. Okay, I'm going to take control of my life. I'm going to figure this out and how I'm going to switch this. But they are also going back here. There's this hands of people there of she's giving,
Mhm.
right? Of this of value versus necessarily she's not the one taking. Usually you would think people will assume that somebody's in this wheelchair, like they're the ones that are receiving, but she has the wealth. She
Mhm.
has the value that she's giving out. And it's connected with you said about, and like I said, the audience is there. And then the audience was on this card. And so tell me more about your podcast, because a podcast has an audience. So tell me more about
Yes.
that.
It does. So we just started season 2. I started the podcast partly because a physician who I work with said, you know, you have been able to not only lose the weight, you did it with such a great attitude and you've been able to keep it off. If you started a podcast, I would prescribe it to my patients and have
Mm.
them listen to you because I think you can teach them a whole lot of things that others cannot. He said, you know, I have nutritionists who work with them and it doesn't work. And I said, well, I know because they don't have any credibility.
Oh.
You know, they haven't been through it. They don't understand all of the messed up, mixed up things that go on around emotional eating and self-soothing with food. So, my audience, I get emails from my audience members
Mhm.
periodically who, and I get a lot of feedback through other mechanisms who talk about how much they get from my telling my story so openly, so honestly, and I am so
Mhm.
transparent about it because I think we need to have hard, honest conversations, but do it through self love. So that is why I did the podcast because I figured if I wanted to keep my weight off and keep building this healthy lifestyle and the odds are against me because you lose a whole lot of weight, chances are you're going to gain it back. And so I thought you better put in some safeguards so that you can keep this front of mind. And that's
Mm.
what the podcast does for me because I talk to people about the physical, the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual because it's all connected. And
Mhm.
it's about building cornerstones to make sure that you can maintain the lifestyle and protect it. And so I have a wonderful audience and I'm in 25, 26 countries already.
Yes.
And so and I do a lot of public speaking and people really respond because I am really brutally honest about my experiences.
That's interesting because, like I said, another 4 cards kind of came out while you were sharing your story, and it's really about the pictures and the story. So the first one here is of this female has the divine masculine energy, but she's just kind of looking out, has her coffee, like she's kind of just in charge of her life and enjoying it. And the next one, of course, is community. Like I said, you have a community of individuals that you are reaching out to, you're talking with and fellowshipping with. The next one that came out is a Superwoman. And again, all of the hands that are out here, she has all these different, things that she's doing. And then the final card they came out with this story is this woman who has her camera, she has this influence, and she has her bathing suit with her body. She is enjoying life and just the charm. So the next question that is coming through, and the word is emphasizing on the charm. And I'm going back to the pearl and the beauty, because a lot of times people wear pearls as a charm of life. If you were to succinctly put into your story, what is your charm of life right now?
Oh, that's a really interesting question. What is my charm of life right now? Very personally, it's an incredible husband and two grandchildren and a beautiful daughter, and they're amazing and give me such strength. Professionally, it is finally finding my purpose to be able to help empower and heal and transform others through my story.
You said power. You're connected to that. So the energy that came through was the seventh chakra, the crown chakra, the top. And here's what it says: grace. The grace of a higher power is with me, and I move through life knowing this truth. I believe in a higher power, and I know that it is within and around me, offering assistance and guidance. I surrender all my fears and burdens to a higher power. I am open to receive grace, and I trust in a higher power.
Mhm.
I am worthy.
Yes.
How does that resonate with you?
100%. Because this has been my journey, right? So growing up, I grew up in an alcoholic home. Many
Mhm.
do, but it certainly has impacted, how you feel about yourself. It's why I
Yes.
self-soothed with food. I've always been overweight.
Mm.
And I had done things in my life just because I felt if I didn't do them, people wouldn't like me and I didn't value myself as much as I should have. So my whole journey has been toward coming to a place to understand that I am worthy right now. I end my show every time with, don't wait until you feel you are worthy. You're already worthy. And so, yeah, that's been my journey.
Of course. And so I was like, okay, so what is the energetic? And so I was drawn to this moon deck. And here's what it says: it's a hand caressing another hand with this woman back here. And here's what it says. It came out also when you were talking about at the end of your show. And it literally says last quarter moon. And this card is about gratitude. It says, be where you are and be thankful. There is always something to be grateful for, no matter your suffering. Gratitude raises a lower vibration to a higher one. Do not allow yourself to be surrounded by too many negative people. Life is conspiring for you. I joyfully turn my attention to what I am grateful for. As we enter the last quarter moon on the lunar cycle, the energies begin to turn towards surrender and release, to let go of what no longer is needed. It behooves you to pay attention to what we have right now, both positive and negative. This attention paying and focus allows us to wisely discern and be grateful for all of it. Yes, all of it. Because the nasty stuff, the stuff that is making us suffer right now, it's already happened, and we can now take wisdom, which is what your name means. Go back to here from this. However, now it's going to, and that we have left up is good and stuff. And frankly, most of it is going to be great. Taking some time out on this moon is a list of few things you will feel grateful for, will raise your vibrations and banish any resistance to you have ditching old out mod patterns. Doing this also turns your powerful focus away from a story you may have started to believe of everything going wrong or that life does terrible things to you. Gratitude is a balancer. In fact, it normally tips the scales of the positive. So the thing that came here is going back to the whole health, because this one it has a older hand
Mhm,
caressed by a younger hand. So the
mhm.
question that's now kind of coming through when you talk about gratitude, what advice would Gretchen give to her younger self today?
I got asked that a lot. I work with a transformational coach and a therapist, and they both asked me that question many times. What I would tell her is, you are amazing
Hmm.
and absolutely perfect right now. You don't have to prove anything. You're going to be just fine. And all of these hardships, all of the things you're going through right now, they're going to serve you later in a lot
Mhm.
of ways, and they have. They absolutely have. I think I would just reassure her that she's going to make her mark in the world, and she's worthy of all of it. So, and that she deserves happiness and joy and love, which I was love very much. But um, I that's what I would tell her. That's what I've been telling her. I think she'd be very proud of who she became.
So the card that came out here is a number card, and it's 1313. And this theme is starting fresh. And here's what it says, Gretchen: encouragement, goals, foundations, creative ventures, communication. Step out of your comfort zone. You're about to create something meaningful. All your skills and talents will bring you auspicious profits. Build up your confidence and trust in your decisions. And so, as you were talking about your podcast, um, and I'm looking here in the community, and like I said, you got the superwoman, the woman in the business suit, you have the divine masculine energy. What is your goal for your podcast 3 years from now?
Obviously, I would love to be picked up by, Sirius Radio or one of the larger media. I just finished a book and signed a contract for getting it published, and it'll be out in the fall. My goal for all of it is to have a national and international platform, to be able to talk to lots of people, not just the ones that happen to know who I am right now. I think my message is one of healing, and I think we need that right now. I think that, my dream is to be on the Today Show and be on
Mm.
the national stage, because I think we have abused people long enough about their weight, and one of my episodes was changing the conversation around obesity. So we have got to quit shaming and hating from the inside and from the outside. And so for some reason people don't really want to talk about it, but I do. And I think that I have a message that would resonate with an awful lot of people. So that's where I want it to be. And if I got my own talk show, even better. But
Okay. So I was like, okay, who's the energetic person that comes along to connect with? And you got Commander Ashtar, and his thing is call to action. Take charge, lead by example, walk your talk. Again, blue, blonde. Here's what it says: you're receiving a call to action and being asked to step up and create the changes you want to see in the world, which you just said you wanted to go out and to reach. Divine inspiration is all around you, and Ashtar and his legion of cosmic angels are standing by to offer you loving support. Know that you are being encouraged to be honest, assertive, and true in a loving way, which is what you already said that you talked about your show. It's the whole concept of I'm telling like it is.
mhm.
This is, the challenges that you kind of face. I'm not sugarcoating anything, which Commander Ashtar is encouraging in that. You may feel your ego trying to hold you back, but know that when you take the first step, the next one will soon follow. Take some time to connect with the universe by looking up at the stars, knowing that your loving beings of light are gazing back down on you. You are not alone. And like I said, I was called to go back to this whole moon, the star energy, and the whole thing with the little flowers all around in the corner where it all started here.
Mhm.
Um, I'm just kind of continuing to guide you in that because it is going to be a challenge. You're going to be pulled in all these different directions, but you can do that. Just continue to fortify your support team as you do that. Continue to be out in nature, looking up at the stars, and thinking about your goal.
We were
Yeah,
doing that last night. We had a fire outside, and
for
we were
sure.
looking up at the stars. And so, I lost my older brother about 30 years ago, and then in 2015 lost mom and dad 6 months apart, and then Eric died um, uh, three almost 3 years ago. And I was very, very, very close to my family. But every night when I go to bed, I say my prayers. I say something I am incredibly grateful for, numerous things. I know that I am blessed. I acknowledge it. And I talk to mom and dad and both brothers every night. And I know that they are there. I know they're here. There's no question.
Like I said, the older hand, the
Yeah.
support, the flowers, the gentleman, and I gotta chill, the stars, the energy, continue that. They are coming through just saying that we're still here for you, we're still supporting you. It's not only the podcast audience, but they're part of your audience. They are seeing you. So continue to connect with them. And then as you're going through this journey of this goal that you want to achieve, ask for their help
Yeah.
because they're in a whole nother realm and can provide guidance to us on our journeys.
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah.
basically saying, we're here for you.
Yeah. I do. And I, last night I said, I want you to be proud of me. And because partly I'm telling their story. And when I was grieving so, so hard for my brother, I ended up talking to somebody who had talks about grief, and he asked a question that said, what's the best, most amazing thing that could come from this? And that completely flipped how I was looking at the loss of my brother to the most amazing thing is I can tell his story, I can tell my story, and it made it it flipped grief on its head for me, and that was incredibly powerful for me.
How did this, it's right here on the card, how did this happen for me?
Yeah,
Like, and this is a gentleman here
yeah.
coming through. So, Gretchen, thank you so much for coming to have an all intuitive conversation with me. For individuals who want to come alongside you on your journey and listen to your podcast, where can they reach you?
Well, I have or a website, GretchenHolmesPhD.com. There you can go. You can find my podcast and any information coming up on speaking engagements, etc. It also will talk about when my book is finally going to be available. The podcast is wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. We're also on YouTube now. This is a big deal for season 2.
Yes.
So it's we're spreading out, and so you can find me in any of those places.
Awesome. Oh, wonderful. I do hope you were encouraged to live smart and ascend to new levels of work life success today. For those of you who are interested in being a guest on All Intuitive Conversation, you can learn more on my YouTube channel at All Intuitive Conversation, and you can send me a message on LinkedIn. And until we all meet again, this has been an All Intuitive Conversation. Thank you, Gretchen.
Thank you.